उल्ललितदीर्घाक्षी दरहासोज्ज्वलन्मुखी गुरुमूर्तिर्गुणनिधिर्गोमाता गुहजन्मभूः.
With slowly moving large eyes, or Dara, fear, Andolita, driving out. That is, her glances dispel the fear of her devotees, whose face shines with smiles. Assuming the form of the teacher, the Sundari Tapayana Upanishad says, just as the words pot, vessel, etc. mean the same thing, so the word mantra, Daivata, and Guru mean the same thing. The meaning of the word Guru is given in the Satika Rahasya. It means darkness, and Ru removes that. In another place, Gu means existence, that is Brahman, and Ru knowledge. Because he is the one with the knowledge of the Brahman, he is called Guru. The Nitya Hridaya also says one should meditate upon that Devi who assumes all forms as well as the Guru. Treasure house of qualities. The Samkhya doctrine is that though the sattva, etc., are specifically three, they have endless modifications. The Sankhya Sutra says, by the qualities of lightness, etc., each quality has equality and inequality. Although sattva, etc., are substances, yet as they exist for the sake of Purusha, they are called qualities. Or gunas, aggregates, vyuha, nidhi, 9. That is, she has 9 aggregates of qualities, for it is said, the Supreme Lord, Shiva, the highest bliss, is in the form of the 9 aggregates, namely, the aggregate of time, of family, of name, of knowledge, of mind, of nada, of bindu, of kala, and of jiva. Thus, there are 9. The commentator Lola gives the characteristics of each in the commentary on Saundarya Lahari, verse 34. Or guna, rope. The rope called Vatrika, which tied the ship during the Pralaya. Nidhi, the deity to whom it was tied. The following story occurs in the Matsya and Kalika Puranas. Thus, at the time of dissolution of all the seeds and rishis, entered the boat at the command of Manu, who was directed by the Lord, and the boat was tied to the horn of the fish incarnation. That rope became firm when Devi held it. Make a great rope of heights to be called Vatrika, 9 yojanas long and 3 cubits broad. Devi, who is the protector of the universe, the great Maya, mother of the world itself, will make that rope firm so that it will not give away. In another place, Yoganidra, the protector of the universe, held the rope. Mother of Kain, that is Surabhi, the divine cow. The other meanings of the word cow, that is speech, etc., should also be taken here. The Vishwa says, Go means heaven, bull, rays, thunderbolt, moon, collyrium, eye, the quarters, bow, earth, speech, and water. The Saundarya Lahari also says, Mother, fire, face, truth, and path. The mother of Guha, Guha Subramanya, or Guha, literally to cover. That which is covered, the Jivas, wheeled by Avidya, Jambhava, the birthplace. The Shruti, Brahmanda Upanishad says, just as from fire small sparks arise, etc. The Yajnavalkya Smriti also says, just as sparks come from the hot iron, so the souls have come out from the self.
देवेशी दण्डनीतिस्था दहराकाशरूपिणी प्रतिपन्मुखराकान्ता तिथिमण्डलपूजिता.
Ruler of gods, Devas, Brahma, Vishnu, etc., dwelling in justice. The Devi Purana says, because she leads to certainty men who wander into good and bad ways by restraining and by soothing them. She, Devi, is called Dandaniti, the subtle ether in the heart. The Veda Sutta, the small ether, is Brahman on account of subsequent arguments. The Shruti says, there is in this city of Brahman the small lotus house, and in it that small ether that should be sought for. Here, the ether of the heart is said to be Brahman, worshipped on the group of 15 days from the Pratipad to the full moon. The meaning is, she is to be worshipped by the modes laid down for the different days as described by the Tantras, or Pratipad, Kameshwari, days as described by the Tantras, or Pratipad, Kameshwari, Raka, Sitra, deity, Tithi, Nitya, deities, Mandala, the aggregate of these. She is surrounded by the three lines of the triangle, or she is worshipped by the aggregate of the Nitya deities of the 1st to 15th. These deities are described in the Varaha Purana. How did Agni originate and how the Ashwinis, O great ascetic, how Gauri, Ganapati, Ganagas, Guha, Surya, Matars, Durga, the quarters, Kubera, Vishnu, Yama, the grandsire Shiva, Pitras, the moon, O Muni. How do these deities take form in the body? What is their sphere of action? What is their names? What's their abode? Thus question explains in the 16 chapters the origin of Agni and the rest as the deities of the first 15 lunar days. The same is mentioned in the Kadimata also, but in the latter work the new moon day is counted as the 15th day and the full moon day as the 16th. But in the former work, the full moon is counted as the 15th. Hence, the full moon day may be taken either as the 15th or 16th. In the form of Kala, Kalamika, the word Kala means 10 Kalas of fire, the 12 of the sun and the 16 of the moon, and other well-known 64 Kalas are also to be taken care here. And also, in the waking state, there are 4 Kalas, namely rising, waking, thought, bodha, and the continuous mental action. Thus, there are 4 Kalas belonging to the waking state. The waking state is said to be Devi accompanied with all qualities. Thus, death, oblivion, insensibility, and sleep, the abounding with darkness. These are the 4 Kalas of the sleeping state. These belong to Shiva, desire, confusion, anxiety, and recollection of the sense objects. These are the 4 Kalas, O Devi, that belong to the dreaming state. These Kalas belong to Shiva as well as Shakti. So also dispassion, desire of salvation, the mind purified by concentrated meditation, samadhi, and determination of reality and unreality. These are the Kalas of the Turiya state. In the Dutiya chapter, 16 Kama Kalas are described. In Antardhuti chapter, 16 Kalas are attributed to the Sri Vidya. Also, some more, such as the Kalas of the Bindu, Ardhachandra, Rodhini, etc., are described in the Swachanda Bhairava and other works, and all these are to be taken care of here.
कलात्मिका कलानाथा काव्यालापविनोदिनी सचामररमावाणी सव्यदक्षिणसेविता आदिशक्तिरमेयात्मा परमा पावनाकृतिः अनेककोटिब्रह्माण्डजननी दिव्यविग्रहा.
Ruler of Kala. The Kalas are above mentioned ones, or Kalanatha means the moon, as the moon dies in the Sakshi Chakra. She is in that form, sporting in the prostorial speech. Kavyas are the works of Valmiki, etc., and each having the 18 characteristics and divided into superior and inferior dramas, etc., attended on either side of Lakshmi and Saraswati, bearing chamaras, a kind of ceremonial fan. The primordial energy, Adi, because she is the cause of the origin of the universe, immeasurable, or because except herself there is none to measure her. The Linga Purana says, heaven, Patala, the end of the world. In these 8 coverings of the Brahmanda, all that can be measured is in the form of Uma, and the measurer is the great Lord. Atman. Atman means here the Jiva, and the next name means the Supreme Self. The Linga Purana says, just as different sparks are said to be in the fire, so the Jivas are also in Shiva, and he is the Supreme Self. The Shiva Purana also says, the supreme 8th body of Shiva is the Atman and pervades the other 7. Hence, Shiva is the universe, or Atman, Brahman. For it is said, that which obtains, receives, enjoys the objects, and exists continuously is called Atman, or Atman, the body. The Vashishta and the Linga Puranas say, all bodies of embodied souls are the forms of the Devi. All embodied souls are parts of Shiva. According to the Vishwa, Atman means body, mind, Brahman, nature, firmness, intelligence, and other meanings of it are also to be taken care of here. The Saptashati says, Devi, who is in all beings in the form of intelligence, the Supreme, Parama, Para, Brahman, Ma, limits, or Para, Shiva, Ma, Lakshmi. Or there are 4 forms of Parabrahman, Ma, transcending these 4. The Vishnu Purana also says, O twice born one, the first form of Supreme Brahman is Purusha, the second is the unmanifested, the third is the manifested, and the fourth is time. Thus, that which is higher than Pradhana, unmanifested, Purusha, manifested, and time, is seen by the wise to be the pure supreme abode of Vishnu. The forms called Pradhana, etc., are the cause of manifestations of the universe. Of pure form, Akriti may also mean her actions or her knowledge. The Yajnavalkya Smriti says, penance and knowledge are the means of purifying the soul, and the knowledge purifies intellect, and the intellect is again purified by Kshatrajna, which is also said to be completely purified by the knowledge of the Lord. The creator of many crores of worlds, literally eggs, Brahman, or she is the mother of Virat, etc., who are the deities of many crores of Brahmandas. Virat is the individuality of the Brahmanda resulting from the combination of the 5 gross elements, consisting of 16 modifications. Swarat is the individuality of the collective whole forms, Linga Sarvrita, of Brahmanda. Swarat is the individuality of the unmanifested, which is the cause of these 2. For it is said, the Virat Purusha is especially thought of as Brahmanda, the Swarat as its nature, the Samrat as both that Shruti declares. Divinely shaped, or Divya, in ether, Vigraha, quarrel. The Markandeya Purana says, even there, in the ether, without support, Chandrika fought with him. Vigraha means, according to Medini, conflict, body, expansion, and division.
क्लीङ्कारी केवला गुह्या कैवल्यपददायिनी त्रिपुरा त्रिजगद्वन्द्या त्रिमूर्तिस्त्रिदशेश्वरी.
Creator of the syllable Kleem. Kleem is the Kama Bija, or she is the Kleem itself, or Kleemkara is Shiva Kama, and she is his wife, the Absolute. Because she is single, as she is devoid of attributes, or Kevala, a kind of knowledge Described in the Shiva Sutra, that which is freed from that is the absolute, Kevala, or Kevala, completeness and fixed meaning. The Vishwa says Kevala means a department of knowledge, one complete fixed meaning, sometimes also a mouse, or with reference to the Kama Bija mentioned in the previous name. When the Ka and La are eliminated from Kleem, Kevala means the Kamakala, that is, Eam, which is the Turiya state. The Shruti says, he who hears this without Ka and La does not reach the place of good action. The explanation is, one who hears I alone with Ka and La in the Kleem does not go to the place attained through action, but obtains the world attainable by unconditioned knowledge alone. The meaning is the three objects, dharma, etc., are attained by kama bija and moksha through kama kala alone. The secret, guhya. This and the following names have the same signification as the previous one. Gukhya literally entered the cave, that is, she is very secret, bestower of the solitary abode. Kaivalya, the state of singleness without attributes, that is the fifth state, or Kaivalya, the five. Pada, the states, Dayini, the bestower. The Yoga Sutra says Kaivalya is the establishment in its own nature of the energy of consciousness. Bhojaraja, the commentator, explains the state of energy in which modifications are extinct and when it remains alone with its own nature is the Kaivalya. Pada means the four kinds of salvation, namely Salokya, etc., Sarupya, Samipya, and Saurajya, etc. Salokya, meaning the four states, is to be known here. Sarupya is the worship without using images of deities regarded as different from oneself and endowed with dominion, etc. Salokya and Sarupya, although differ in the meaning, they entirely target the same aspect. The Taittiriya Upanishad says the first three kinds of salvation. Among these deities, one obtained Sarupya, Sarishta, Sarupya, and Salokya, and Sayujya. The authority for the fourth is the Mundokya Upanishad. Those who are peaceful, learned, who live on alms in the forest, performing penance and having faith without passion, proceed through the sun to the place where is the immortal person, the eternal self. Hence, through the sun, the path arises. They go to the Salokya, where Brahma, the person, is. These four kinds of salvation are the result of the action, transitory and conditioned. Hence, these are described by the words pada, abode. The Kaivalya salvation, which is the result of the knowledge and is unconditioned, permanent. The Taittiriya Shruti says, he who knows thus and dies when the sun is in the northern solstice, by obtaining the glory of Devas, attains the Sayujya of the sun. Next, when one dies, when the sun is in the southern solstice, obtaining the glory of the Pitras, attains the Sayujya of the moon. These are the glory of the sun and the moon. The learned man who is the Brahman rejects these two. Hence, he attains the glory of the Brahman. Here, those who perform action alone attain the world of the moon. One who observes the three modes of worship, images, etc., attains Salokya and other states. Those who know Brahman, recognizing the worlds of the sun and the moon, resulting from the action and worship as imperfect, reject them and attain the glory of Brahman, the unconditioned bliss transcending both. The Shakti Rahasya gives this by a short verse. A mortal who worships by ceremonies, by images, by mind, by identification, by knowing the self attains Kaivalya. Older than the three, Tripura. For it is said, Devi is called Tripura because she is older than the three persons, Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra. The Tripurarāya says, Tripura means the three Nadats, Sushumna, Pingala, and Irida, and Manas, Buddhi, and Chitta. As Devi dwells in these, she is called Tripura. The Gaudapada Sutra says, the difference is by the three tattvas. The meaning is that one Brahman is divided into three by the three tattvas. In the commentary of the above, the tattvas are explained variously as the qualities, forms, states of consciousness, worlds, pita, bija, divisions of the Panchadashi, etc. Pura, beyond these, the Lagustava says there are three devas, three Vedas, three fires, three energies, three noises. Reading these three cities, three sacred lakes, three castes, namely Brahmana, etc. Whatever in the world is threefold, such as the three objects of human desire, all these, O Divine One, really belong to your name. The Kalika Purana also says, your sphere is triangular because everything is threefold. You are called Tripura, or Tripura, the 3 feet, white, red, and mixed. The mantras belonging to these with the explanation and the nature of the same are set forth in the tantras. The Purva Chaturstuti in the 4th chapter described from the verse, the supreme energy is called Tripura, ending with the verse, hence she is called Tripura, and we are going to explain in more details in this commentary, adored by the 3 worlds. Triple formed. According to the Dhaumya, a girl 3 years old is called Trimurti, or Trimurti signifies Brahma, etc., the 3 Shaktis, Vama, etc., and of Icha, etc. The Varaha Purana says, thus having spoken Brahma, looked at Shiva and also called to mind Narayana. Then the divine Narayana stood between the two. They became Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, and with a subtle vision regarded each other delighted. Then a threefold vision appeared to them. From the night sprang a young girl of divine form. Seeing that girl, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva addressed her, saying, who are you? What are you doing, O smiling one? Thus questioned that girl of the 3 colors, namely black, white, and red, replied, O best ones, do you not know me? Your own Shakti, supreme dominion of beautiful shape, born from your gaze. Then the triad, Brahma, etc., were pleased and they granted her boons. Your name is the triple Devi. Ever protect the world, O sinless one. You will have many other names derived from your qualities affecting all objects. Hear from us, O Devi, another thing. Make your body threefold according to the 3 colors you possess, white, red, and black. Devi thus addressed the gods, made her body threefold. Thus she assumed 3 forms, white, red, and black. In another place, also described the penance of the 3 Shaktis, Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra, respectively, in the white, red, and blue mountains. Again, in another place, the forms are explained. The supreme energy, endowed with the sattvika quality, remaining with Brahma, becomes white. The same endowed with the Rajasa quality and remaining with Vishnu becomes red. The same endowed with Tamasa quality and remaining with Rudra is said to be black, just as the Supreme Self, though one becomes 3, the one Shakti becomes 3 in order to produce effects. The Gaudapada Sutra says, one becomes Shambhavi, Vidya, and Syama. The Devi Bhagavata Purana also says, Shambhavi is white hued, Sri Vidya red, and Syama black. Thus the Shaktis are of 3 qualities, ruler of the thrice 10, Trideshwarai. Tridasas are the Devas 3 Dasha states, or 10, that is 13, or Tridashas, Vishwadevas, or triple 10, that is she is the ruler of the 33 ganas of gods. Of course, 3 is understood.
त्र्यक्षरी दिव्यगन्धाढ्या सिन्दूरतिलकाञ्चिता उमा शैलेन्द्रतनया गौरी गन्धर्वसेविता विश्वगर्भा स्वर्णगर्भा वरदा वागधीश्वरी ध्यानगम्या परिच्छेद्या ज्ञानदा ज्ञानविग्रहा सर्ववेदान्तसंवेद्या सत्यानन्दस्वरूपिणी लोपामुद्राचिता लीला क्लुप्तब्रह्माण्डमण्डला.
Three syllabled. The syllables are the bijas of the three divisions, namely Vagbhava, Kamaraja, and Shakti. The Vamakeshwara Trayi says Vagishwari is the Jnana Shakti, which is in the Vagbhava division and confers salvation. Kamaraja is the Kriya Shakti, the ruler of the desires, and fulfills desire. The Shakti division is the Ichha Shakti, the supreme energy, and is in the form of Shiva. Thus, the Devi, the great Tripurasundari, is three syllabled. All Traikari means Shuddha Vidya and Kumari mantras. The Gaudapada Sutra says the Shuddha Vidya and the Kumari are three syllabled, or Tyakshari, heart or truth. The Brahmanda Upanishad says the words heart and truth are each three syllabled, or Trayakshari. The three divisions of the alphabet called Yugakshara, Makakshara, and Nityakshara. 24th verse divides 35 names. Endowed with the divine perfume, Devya, the divine beings such as gods and other animated beings, that is, she is surrounded by celestial things, and not like the ordinary kings who surround themselves with the terrestrial objects. Or Divya Gandha, the perfumes, that is Harichandana, etc. For the Shruti says, Devi possesses perfumes and is not to be easily perceived. According to the Yoga Sutra, from concentration with reference to the relation between the organ of hearing and the ether, a superperfect organ of hearing, similarly with other senses, it is by the favor of Devi one obtains the divine perfumes, etc. Decorated with a red forehead mark. According to the Vishwa, Sindura means elephant, Tilaka sheep elephant, ancient worshipped, or worshipped by females whose gait resembles that of an elephant. The Vaibhava Purana says, the daughters of Nanda, the cowherd, whose love is intense and hard to resist, O Katyayini, O great Maya, O great Yogini, O ruler, O Devi, the son of the cowherd Krishna, give us a husband. We adore thee, thus repeating the mantra the girls worship Devi, etc. Rukmini also at her marriage said, when Krishna's arrival was delayed, fortune is against me, Maheshwara is against me, Devi, also the wife of Shiva, the daughter of the mountain, is unfavorable. Thus, the girl protected by the servants left the female apartments for the Devi's temple on foot to gaze on the tender feet of Devi. By worshipping Devi, she obtained her desired objects. Uma, U, Shiva, Ma, Lakshmi, or U, Shiva, Ma, limits, or Uma, rose color, also saffron color, fame, brightness, for it is said, Markandeya Purana, Devi who resides as brightness in all creatures. The Vishwa, Uma means Chinar, rose, daughter of Himavat mountain, saffron fame, and brightness, or you. Note of interrogation, Ma, negation. When Devi was performed penance, she was forbidden by her mother. The Kalika Purana says, because when she was forbidden to go to the forest to perform penance, she was called Uma, not to go. The same story is repeated in the Brahma Purana and in the Pushkara Khanda of the Padma Purana, or U, superior, Ma, a certain mental modification. The Sutta Samhita says, I adore the supreme experience which destroys the noose of the earthly existence, which purifies even Sadashiva, called Uma, which produces the bright mental state and manifests in many kinds of worlds, or Uma, U, Ma, and A, which form Pranava, meaning respectively Brahma, Rudra, and Vishnu. And many other meanings of the pranava are also to be taken care here. Therefore, those who know the secret call this Uma Devi Pranava. In Linga Purana, Shiva says to Devi, in my pranava, there are Auma, Uma, and A are in the order in your pranava, with the three notes, matras, and with the highest pluta. The Mahavashishta says, Uma is so called because it contains the essence of the pranava. Again, Uma is the Indukala, which ever inspires the hearts of all beings in the three worlds, asleep and awake. In the commentary, it is explained thus: in the heart of all beings, whether asleep or awake, there is a cavity whence arises the sound being produced without contrast, which is Shabda Brahman. The pranava, without the letters A, etc., the cavity is Shiva, and in his head there is an Indukala, which is in the form of Bindu. The Vayuviya Samhita also says, Om is the monosyllable Brahman. In the head of the Linga is to be heard the sound that has half an accent. The Hamsa Upanishad, describing the different things situated in the petals of the lotus of the heart, says, in the Linga sleeps, arises. When the lotus is left, the Turiya state arises. And when the Hamsa, Jiva, is absorbed in the Nada, which is at the head of the Linga, the state beyond the fourth arises. According to Shiva Sutra, Uma means the Icha Shakti of the Yogins. The young Uma is called Icha Shakti. The commentator, Krishna Dasha, explains thus: the energy of the yogin who grasps the Parambhairava as described above, which is the eternal energy of desire, which the wise called Uma. According to the Padma Purana, Uma is the deity worshipped at the Vinayaka and at the Sindhuvana, or according to Dhaumya, a girl of 6 years of age is called Uma, daughter of the king of the mountains. The Devi Purana says, being born in the abode of the king of mountains, she is called the daughter of the king of the mountains, Gauri, because her color is yellowish. The Mahavashishta, she is called Gauri because her body is yellow. According to Padma Purana, Gauri is the wife of Varuna, girl of 10 years of age. The Devi Purana says, she who was burned by the fire of the yoga was again born of the Himalaya, and she has the color of the conch, jasmine, and the moon. She is called Gauri. According to the Padma Purana, Gauri is the deity at Kanya Kabuja, attended by the Gandharvas. Gandharva, Vishwavasu, and others, or horses, or a certain deity called Ashvarudha, or it may mean a celestial song, whose womb contains the universe, born from a golden egg, Swarnagarbha, or whose womb is golden. The Vayu Purana says, her womb is golden and born from golden, hence she is called Hiranyagarbha or Su, excellently, Arna, letters, Garbha, shining, that a she is explained by the Matrika letters, or Su, superior, Arna, mantras, Garbha, in the womb, that a she has all higher mantras in her womb, punisher of unholy persons, Avarada, Avaras, unholy asuras, or Ava, shining Rada, teeth, ruler of speech, to be attained by the meditation, Dhyanagamya. The Shruti says, they, the sages devoted to meditation, saw the Shakti of the Divine Self hidden by its own qualities, unlimited, aparichedya, that is so as to place and time, bestower of knowledge. The Kamarupa Upanishad says, in that ether he met a very beautiful woman, Uma, the daughter of the Himavat. To her, he, Indra, said, what is this Yaksha? She replied, this is Brahman. The Sutta Samhita says, she is the supreme Vidya Samskari, destroyer of the samsara, arises in men by the grace of Shakti alone. In another place also, Sutta Gita, she who is in the form of the Vidya, to be known by the Vedas, is existence, bliss, infinity, and knowledge. By the grace of that speech, Ambika, the one mother of the universe, through devotion or jnana, the knowledge, which leads to the bondage, the slayer, the Shiva Sutra says. Jnana is bondage. Some commentators say jnana in the sutra should be taken as ajnana. The Vartika comments on this thus. This knowledge, which possessing the modifications of the feeling inwardly of joy, etc., tends outwardly towards essential objects and makes always duality to man, is called bondage, as she is bound by this bondage and he is forever in the samsara. Another sutra says, knowledge is food. The Vartika explains it thus. It is explained, knowledge is called bondage in the previous sutra. One who is attached to this, he sees Atman in the things that are not Atman. Hence it is called food, because it is perishable. Whose body is knowledge, Jnana Vigraha. Because the whole world is in the form of knowledge, and the Vishnu Purana says, Jnana alone is the supreme Brahman. Jnana is the cause of bondage. This universe consists of knowledge. There is nothing beyond knowledge. O Maitreya, know that Jnana is both Vidya and Avidya, or Jnana, knowledge. Vigraha, expansion. That is through one's own knowledge expands, to be known through all the Vedantas. Varaha Purana says, this, Devi, is explained as the threefold energy and set forth as the end of the logic. She is the energy of wisdom, set forth in all the Vedantas, who is existence and bliss, Satyanada Swarupini. Some divide this name into two, Satya and Ananda Swarupini. The Shruti says he became Sat as well as Tyat, or Sat, Prana, food, etc. The Shruti says Sat Prana and food, Ya, the sun, or Satya. She is good to the wise, or Sat means brightness. Ananda Swarupini in the Veda Sutra. Bliss and other qualities are belonging to the subject. It is explained that the qualities bliss, etc., are the qualities of Brahman itself, worshipped by Lopamudra. Lopamudra is the wife of Agastya. The Trishati says, his wife named Lopamudra worships me with much devotion. Tripura Siddhanta also says, as the supreme ruler was pleased with the wife of Agastya named Lopamudra, this Devi is invoked under the name of the Lopamudra or Lopamudra, the Panchadashi mantra, and Archita, worshipped, or through the Lopamudra mantra, she is to be worshipped. The Kali Mata says, one should perform all the ceremonies by the third division of the mantra, who formed the world systems as it were in sport, that is without effort. We said in our Devista, even Shiva is powerless to create, preserve, or destroy Brahma, Vishnu, and other gods. But, O Mother, the regulation of the universe is but to you, the sport, the Shakti Sutra. She manifests the universe at will in herself.
अदृश्यादृश्यरहिता विज्ञात्रिवेद्यवर्जिता योगिनी योगदा योग्या योगानन्दा युगन्धरा इच्छाशक्तिज्ञानशक्तिक्रियाशक्तिस्वरूपिणी सर्वाधारा सुप्रतिष्ठा सदसद्रूपधारिणी.
Not to be perceived by eyes and other senses. The Shruti. You do not see the seer of sight. Devi Bhagavata Purana says, your unqualified form is not an object of visual perception. Shakti is without quality, difficult of approach. The Supreme Person is without qualities. Transcending the visible, or she is freed from drishya, the worldly things, because they are not eternal. Perceiver, the Shruti says, oh, how is the knower to be known? Transcending the knowable, because they are not eternal. Yogini, yoga is the idea of union, As she has this and bestows it on others, she is so called. Bestower of yoga, Yogya. The meaning of yoga is given in the Vishnu Purana. Having controlled all senses with the mind, the idea of unity of the soul with the Supreme Self is yoga. The Bhagavad Gita. One should know that yoga which frees from attachment of pain, the Yoga Sutra. Yoga means restraint of mental modifications. That yoga is of four kinds: mantra, laya, hatha, and raja. The Raja Yoga is also of three kinds: Samkhya, Taraka, and Amsanka. The details of the characteristics of these are omitted here for the want of space. Or Yogini, the eight Yoginis, planets, from Mangala to Samkata. According to the Jyotisha Shastra, they make round in 36 years. Or Yoginis are the seven deities, Dakini and others mentioned in the Mantra Shastra. Or Yoga literally means enjoyment of objects. Hence, of the three names, the first is enjoyer, the second, the bestower of enjoyment, and the third, the object of enjoyment. The Svaya Upanishad says, having known the enjoyer, the object of the enjoyment, and the bestower of the enjoyment is Brahman, this is to be known here. The Sankhya's say the primordial Maya is independent. The Vedantans say this is the energy of Shiva. Vivaranacharya says that energy implies dependence, that energy possesses the three qualities and the qualities mutually exclude one another. For the Bhagavad Gita says, O Bharata, when Rajas and Tamas are excluded, Sattva remains. When Sattva and Tamas are excluded, Rajas remains. When Rajas and Sattva are excluded, Tamas remains. Hence, that energy is established as triple. When Rajas and Tamas are entirely excluded, that energy becomes pure, Sattva alone. When Sattva is tainted by Rajas and Tamas, the secondary Sattva appears. When Sattva and Rajas are completely excluded by Tamas, the third state of Sattva appears. Of these, the first, called Ishwari, is meant by the name bestower of enjoyment. The energy possessed with the second, Rajas, called Jiva, is the enjoyer and expressed by the word Yogini. The same possessed with the third Tamas, called the material universe, Jadavastu, is expressed by the word Yogya. Thus, they should be distinguished. Bliss of Yoga, Yogananda. Yoga, the common essence of Shiva and Shakti, that alone is her bliss, or Yogananda, is called yoga, sleep, because bliss entirely pervades sleep. She says, who is a mass of bliss and is known in the world as sleep? As sleep, even among the gods, none supported the ideology of sleep. Maya, the mother of Vishnu, unborn, she is ever in the presence of Narayana, thus causing him to sleep. The lotus eyed, she attends people for a short time and greatly confuses them. Or Yogananda means Nrisimha, man lion of that name. According to some, this name should be divided into two, namely Ayogya and Nanda. Ayoga without attachment. The Shruti, the Brahmanda Upanishad says, the unattached is never attached, or she is Aya, mountain, that is immovable like a mountain, or she is Aya, good actions, Shiva, Ga, to go. She leads one to Shiva by good actions. Nanda, the Ganga, by name Alakananda, or Nanda, the deity of the first and sixth and 11th days. According to the Markandeya Purana, Nanda means a certain incarnation of Devi who was born as a daughter of the shepherd Nanda, or the river Saraswati is called Nanda in a certain place. For the Padma Purana says, Saraswati is called Nanda at the foot of the Himavat mountains, or Nanda is a certain river which flows near the Puruksha. The Padma Purana, Pushkara Khanda says, even one who does not go to the river called Nanda, the daughter of Brahma, having clear and turbid waters, broad flowing to the south, if one merely repeats its name, will obtain happiness while living and will move in the ether after death. The Varaha Purana says, gives the definition of the same. Thus, having established Devi in the Himavat mountain, the Devas returned as they came. As she was joyful after the establishment, she was called Nanda, joyous. The Devi Purana says, she rejoices in the heaven or resides in the Nandana garden or in the holy Himavat mountain. Hence, she is called Nanda. The Varaha Purana sets forth the nature of that deity. The Gayatri with 8 arms who fought with the Daitya. Chaitra herself became Nanda in order to accomplish the actions of the Devas, and she, who in the Swayambhuva cycle killed in the Mandara mountain, the Daitya, Mahisha, who afterwards became the Daitya, Chaitra, the very strong and powerful one, who was slain by Nanda in the Vindhya mountain. That Devi is Jnana Shakti. Mahisha is in the form of certain Ujjva. Ajnana is always dispelled by Jnana, bearer of the yoke. According to the Vishwa Prakasha, yoga means a measure, considering of 4 cubits, chariot stroke, a plough, also the cycle krita, etc., a pear and a species of medicinal plant. The meaning is thus the horse, bull, etc. bear the yoke that purports the whole universe. The pair refers to Shiva and Shakti, the Krita, etc., the cycles. She directs the cycles, the energies of desire, wisdom, and action. These correspond to the 3 qualities. Samketa Paddhati says, desire in her head, wisdom her trunk, action her feet. Thus, her body consists of 3 energies. The Vankeshwara Trayi also says, Tripura is threefold, namely Brahma, Vishnu, and Isha, and she, O beloved one, is the energy of desire, wisdom, and action. Of these energies, the preceding one is the cause of the succeeding. The Kriya Shakti is fivefold according to the Sutta Samhita, namely Spanda, Parispanda, Prakarma, Parishalana, Prachara. Thus, there are 5 actions. The Malini Vijayatrayi says that supreme divine energy becomes the energy of desire when Brahman, the supporter of the universe, wishes to create. This should be known thus and no other way. She becomes the energy of knowledge when she reminds him, saying, let this be thus. When thus, knowing he acts, she becomes the energy of actions. The Vaitrika Samhita says, supporter of all. Sharva, the whole world. Dhara, gradation, that is, she is one with the created things. Sarvadhara, Sarva, the whole. Adhara, support, that is, she is in all. The Markandeya Trayi says, in reality, it is Devi herself who is perceived in all things, permanent or impermanent, gross or subtle, or more subtle, embodied or disembodied, one or many, in earth, in heaven, or elsewhere, firmly established. Supastita is a meter of 20 syllables, the foundation of being and non being. Sat, Brahman, Asat, universe, which is different from Sat. So, Supratishta is a meter that describes the 20 syllables. Through the universe, which is very difficult to define as Sat or Asat, she is different from both, from the Sat and Asat. Yet, here the word Asat represents the universe. For the Shruti, Taittiriya Upanishad, says, in the beginning this was indeed Asat. Another Shruti said, how did Sat come to exist from Asat? In these places, Asat means the universe, or Sat and Asat are the 2 kinds of knowledge. Sat is the last mental modification before realization of Asat. The remaining mental modifications, called Vikalpa, fanciful. For the Yoga Sutra says, fancy is a notion founded on the knowledge conveyed by words, but of that there is no object corresponding in reality. The Gaudashruta says, Whatever is perceived by the mind is asat. Sat and asat may mean existence and non existence. Existence is what is permanent and unchangeable. The Susham, what appears either as existent or non existent, all is caused by the Maya or Mahadeva.